What's up, dummies? We're about to react to the silliest ways people have died. Look at this dude. He tried taking a selfie with a freaking lion and he ended up dying. This is gonna be a compilation of the dumbest and stupidest ways people have passed away. Let's check this out. Try not to get scared. Let's go.
John Allen Chow, an American Christian missionary, illegally traveled to North Sentinel Island to contact and live among the Sentinelese.
What? This guy traveled to a island to try to live with these people? Bro, they're definitely gonna kill him, bro. These people do not want your weird bald-headed
isolated indigenous group so he could convert them to Christianity. On the 15th of November, Chow paid local fishermen to take him to a point between 1,600 and 2,300 feet from the island's shore so he could continue to the island by kayak. As he approached, he attempted to communicate with the islanders and offer gifts, but he pulled back after facing hostile responses. On another visit, the islanders reacted to him with a mixture of amusement, bewilderment, and hostility. He sang worship songs to them and spoke to them in Xhosa. They either fell silent or laughed hysterically. When he tried to hand over fish and gifts, a boy shot a metal-headed arrow that pierced the Bible he was holding close to his chest. After that, he retreated again. On his final visit, on the 17th of November, Chow told the fishermen to leave without him. The fishermen later saw the islanders dragging Chow's body, but his remains were never recovered. Seven fishermen were later arrested for taking Chow to the island illegally.
Wow, so he literally wanted to talk to these Indian people, and these Indian people were like, hell no, and they killed him. That's insane. All right, Joseph Smith, let's see what happened to him.
It was January 22nd, 2023 in
Bro, that was like last year. The hell?
Sumner County, Kansas. Joseph Smith, a plumber, decided to go hunting with a friend and his...
What's wrong with his head, bro? What the hell is that? Where did he get that freaking helmet from?
Friend's shepherd dog when a tragic incident occurred. They loaded the dog and the guns into the back seat of the truck and headed into the woods. While Joseph sat in the passenger seat, the dog accidentally stepped on the trigger, causing the rifle to discharge and shoot Joseph in the back. Emergency response units arrived within minutes and attempted to revive him, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. An initial investigation examined whether the dog was at fault, but the sheriff's office ruled the shooting an accident and closed the case.
What? Did they just say they tried to see if the dog was at fault? That's stupid. So what I took from that story is this guy was going hunting with his friend and his dog, his friend's dog, right? The dog was going to help them find like deer or something. The dog ends up stepping on the gun, shoots the gun at the guy on accident. And did they just say they were trying to figure out if it was the dog's fault? What are you going to do? Send the dog to jail for accidentally stepping on the trigger? That's so stupid. All right, next story.
Frank Cable. In January 2014, Frank Cable, a 35-year-old Zimbabwe...
His last name is Cable, like Frank Cable. That's dope. All right, I'm going to stop pausing the video. I'm so dumb.
An evangelical pastor had a revelation that told him that with enough faith, he could achieve what Jesus was able to do. He gathered his congregation and told them that he was capable of reenacting the very miracles of Jesus Christ. He decided to walk on water like Jesus did, so he took his congregation out to the...
I think he's going to try to like prove to everyone he can walk on water, and he's going to drown.
The beach in Libreville.
It's not funny, but like...
capital city of Gabon. He told them that he would cross the Gabon estuary on foot, a distance of 7 miles that normally takes 20 minutes by boat. As he stepped into the water, his right foot sank immediately. Sadly, by the second step into the water, Cable found himself completely submerged and ultimately drowned.
It's not funny, but it's like, bro, you are not Jesus.
Austria. It was May 22nd, 1867, at Hetzendorf Palace in Vienna. 18-year-old Archduchess Matilda Marie Adelgunde Alexandra of...
Huh? Her name is what? Archduchess Matilde Marie Adelgunde... Dude. What the hell is wrong with her parents?
Austria had put on a gauze dress to go to the theater and then lit a cigarette. Soon she heard her father approaching, and she remembered that he had strictly forbidden smoking. So she hid the cigarette behind her, accidentally setting her highly flammable dress on fire.
Oh my gosh.
Her back, arms, neck, and legs were severely burned before the fire could be extinguished. She suffered second and third degree burns over her entire body. Parts of her dress had melted into her skin, and she ultimately died of these injuries 2 weeks later. Her entire family witnessed her death.
I mean, all that just goes to show you, do not smoke, do not vape. That is disgusting, bro. I should make a video about it, just talking about how, like, if you vape, if you smoke, horrible, horrible, horrible. I do not even hang out with people who do that. If people do that, I don't even talk to them ever again. It's just not good. It shows that you have no control of yourself. Okay, let's
8th, 1997, 38-year-old Wayne Roth went to visit his friend Roger Croteau in Jenkins, Pennsylvania. While drinking beer and getting high with his friends,
Bro, hold on. I see the snake drawing. Something's gonna happen with the snake. I think he's gonna like try to give the snake some beer. Oh, I'm gonna make the snake drunk. And then the beer or the snake like kills him.
Decided to grab his friend's pet Cobra from a reptile tank nearby. He was instantly bitten in the right hand by the Cobra. So his friend Roger suggested that they go to a hospital and insisted on taking him there. But Wayne had other plans. He said he did not need to go to the hospital. He was going to handle it like a man. He asked to be taken to a local bar instead. While drinking there, he bragged about being bitten by a snake to everyone. Unfortunately though, Cobra venom is slow acting. He felt unwell within 3 hours of being at the bar and died shortly afterwards while being driven to the hospital by his friend.
Bro was trying to be so cool. Like, oh, I got bit by a cobra. He thought he was so cool and he died.
Toxicology report showed that Roth's blood alcohol content was 0.354, over 3 times the legal limit in the state, and that controlled opiate substances were present. The official cause of death was listed as cardiorespiratory failure due to drug overdose. Luciano Ray Cecconi. On January 18, 1977, 28-year-old Lazio footballer Luciano Ray Cecconi, along with his teammate Pietro Guedin and another friend, decided to stage a fake robbery in Bruno Tabacini's jewelry store in Rome. They believed it would be a hilarious prank. The trio masked up and stormed into the shop, shouting that it was a robbery. Unbeknownst to them, the store had been robbed just days earlier, and the owner, Bruno Tabacini, had armed himself as a precaution. When the masked men entered, Tabacini did not hesitate as he aimed his gun at Ray Cecconi's accomplice, who immediately dropped his weapon and raised his hands. But Ray Cecconi was committed to the prank and continued acting. Tabacini fired, hitting Luciano. Ray Cecconi's last words were reportedly, "It's a joke. It's only a joke." But it was too late. The gunshot wound was so severe that he died just 30 minutes later, at the age of 28, leaving behind his wife and 2 children.
Okay, I mean, what? Like, why would, how is that a joke? You're faking a robbery. Like, I could understand if you, like, you know, did a joke where like you went to McDonald's and you were like, can I get 400 Big Macs? Like maybe that would be a joke. What? You're faking a robbery at a jewelry store?
No, Tabacini was arrested and held for 18 days before being released without charge. Judge Severino Santiapici declared that the death was the result of self-defense and a terrible accident.
This guy went to jail for 18 days for shooting people who were robbing his place. What?
Gary Hoy. On July 9, 1993, Gary Hoy, a Canadian lawyer, was working in his office on the 24th floor when his secretary asked him to give a tour of the office to a group of law interns. While showing the interns around, he attempted to demonstrate the strength of the building's window glass
He falls out, doesn't he? Wow.
by slamming himself into a window. He had performed this stunt many times before, bouncing off the glass. After one successful attempt, Hoy tried again. In this instance, the force of his impact removed the window from its frame, causing both the intact window and Hoy to fall from the building. He fell 24 stories to his death.
See, that is just like, that is just somebody who's trying to be too cool. Like, you're showing off your building and you're like, dude, this glass, it doesn't break. And he did it once and it didn't break. So then he did it again, and then he broke the damn glass and he died. Like, you don't need to prove yourself to people, bro. Stop trying to prove yourself. Like, just be you. Just be cool. You don't need anyone's approval. You don't need people to be like, oh, that's cool. That glass is strong. Like, no, you're dead now.
Charles, Louisiana. 2 Texans, Alejandro Cazares and his friend Roberto Moreno, were driving south when they encountered a lifting bridge closed to vehicular traffic.
Bro, I bet they tried to go up the bridge
to allow boats to pass. With the safety gate down, Moreno exited the vehicle and pushed the gate arm up. Cazares then drove under the gate, picked Moreno up, and continued toward the ramp at the end of the bridge. They stopped briefly before Cazares placed the vehicle in reverse and accelerated forward in an attempt to jump the bridge ramp. The car became airborne, landed in the waterway, and sank to the bottom. Cazares couldn't exit the vehicle, while Moreno was found outside the submerged car. Both were pronounced dead at the scene. Eric Barsha. It was July 12, 1997, in Reston, Virginia. Eric Barsha, a 22-year-old fast food worker, decided to go bungee jumping on his day off. Eric Barsha, a 22-year-old fast food...
This is the first time I actually saw like a real picture of somebody, bro. What the hell? Who took a picture of him working, bro? Hidden camera.
Worker decided to go bungee jumping on his day off. He couldn't find any place to practice bungee jumping in the area, so he figured he could do it himself.
Are you joking? Are you kidding?
He chose a nearby railroad bridge in Lake Accotink Park, standing 70 feet high, as his jump-off point. He tied together a bunch of bungee cords, which turned out to be a few feet shorter than the height of the bridge. He headed to the jumping location, tied one end of the bungee cord around his leg, attached the other to the bridge trestle, and jumped. Yet the cords did not stop him above the ground. Eric failed to account for the cord's stretch, making the total length of the cords greater than the height of the bridge. He hit the ground with such force that he died instantly. Randy Lee Tenley. It was August 28, 2012, in Kalispell, Montana, when Randy Lee Tenley, a 44-year-old Montana native, decided to play a prank. Dressed in a military-style ghillie suit, he headed to the highway at night to provoke a Bigfoot sighting.
Are you stupid?
15-year-old girl driving in the right-hand lane of U.S. Highway 93
Why is she driving? She's 15 years old.
struck him, and as he lay in the road, a 17-year-old girl in another vehicle ran him over. Because it was a full-body suit made of camouflage fabric, the drivers had a hard time spotting him. He was pronounced dead at the scene.
Why are you on the highway wearing a full-body camouflage suit? Just think. Just use your brain, bruh.
Acton Beale. On May 15, 2011, at 4:30 a.m., Acton Beale, a 20-year-old from Brisbane, Australia, had been
Dude, Brisbane. Bro, what? That's awesome.
out drinking with a friend and planking, posing face down in various unusual spots on their way home. He decided on a more daring planking stunt and asked a friend to film it. He went to the balcony of his 7th-floor apartment and attempted to plank there. While trying to lie down on a fence on his balcony, he lost his balance and fell 70 feet, fatally injuring himself. The emergency response units arrived within minutes and attempted unsuccessfully to resuscitate him for
Why? What are you doing? Why are you trying to do why are you trying to look cool on your balcony? Like, oh, I'm hanging off my back. You're dead. Like, what?
20 minutes. He died on the spot, becoming
A lot of these deaths so far, there's still a couple more coming up, but a lot of these deaths so far I have seen, people are trying to look cool. People are trying to like prove something on social media. Like this guy, he was trying to look cool. Like, oh, I'm on my balcony. Like, bro, just enjoy life, bro. You don't gotta prove
the first known death caused by planking. Edward Archbold. In October 2012, Edward Archbold, a 32-year-old from West Palm Beach, Florida, decided to participate in an eating contest at Ben Siegel Reptile Store in Deerfield Beach. He had to eat as many live cockroaches, crickets, and worms as possible, so he
what the hell? Okay, remind me to never go to West Palm Beach in my life. I've been there before, but I'm never going back. Because did he just say they joined a eating competition where you eat as many cockroaches, beetles, and worms as possible? How do you even find out about this competition? Who the hell is running the competition? And why the hell is anyone running this
he could win a giant snake. He was competing against
whoever wins gets a giant snake. That just sounds like the worst deal ever. Did they feed you guys a bunch of Kellogg's cereal in the morning, spike your blood sugar, and then make you... I say that all the time in all my videos. I need to stop saying that. All right, come on.
30 other participants. But unlike them, who ate one insect at a time, he shoveled handfuls of crickets, worms, and cockroaches into his mouth and drank water to wash them down. He won the contest. No one else ate close to what he did. He immediately went to the bathroom to vomit, then became ill and collapsed in front of the store. Paramedics rushed him to the hospital, where doctors pronounced him dead. About 30 people ate the insects, but authorities said none of the other contestants became ill. The death was ruled an accident caused by asphyxia due to choking and aspiration of gastric contents.
Wow, so he was just eating a lot of these bugs and drinking a lot of water, and he basically overate. Yeah, food competitions can be bad. I mean, your stomach only has a certain amount of area it can really hold food.
Robert Overacker.
And he did that all for a snake. All for a pet snake that never even made it to his house.
On October 1st, 1995, 39-year-old Robert Overacker ventured to Niagara Falls, Canada, to attempt an audacious stunt. For 7 years, Robert meticulously planned how to jump off Niagara Falls on a jet ski.
Is he tweaking, bro? Did I hear that right? Hold on, I never do this, but I'm gonna replay this.
For 7 years, Robert meticulously planned how to jump off Niagara Falls on a jet ski.
What?
Not just for the thrill, but to raise awareness for the homeless in his native California.
I'm gonna be jumping off Niagara Falls on a jet ski to raise awareness for the homeless people in California. Hell?
Believed this was a cause that desperately needed more attention, and a stunt as daring as seemed the perfect way to bring it. Although Robert thought he had prepared for the stunt, there was one critical oversight that would ultimately prove catastrophic.
How do you even train? It says he's training for this stunt. How do you train for something like this? What do? You go to your backyard, you get your jet ski out, and you start. What it looks like he's taking a jet ski on a cardboard box. Niagara Falls is huge.
He planned to use a rocket-propelled parachute to soften the fall. As he ventured
really?
into the Niagara River, the jet ski had the words, "Save the Homeless," written on it. Shortly before going over the falls, he let go of the jet ski and lifted his hands high into the air. In an instant, he vanished from sight as he went over the edge. His rocket-propelled parachute failed to open, and he fell to his death. Overacker's body was recovered the next day, and he was pronounced dead at Niagara General Hospital. His failed stunt was captured on video by a German tourist, Italian John Doe. It was April 19th, 2022, Easter Monday in Catalica, Italy, when an unidentified 46-year-old man, feeling thirsty, decided to sneak into the back of a closed market. He picked up a bottle of water from a tall stack of crates, causing the entire stack to collapse on top of him.
Wow.
Employees returned to the shop the next day and were confronted with a collapsed mess of crates. A few hours into the workday, they began sorting the collapsed stack. When they lifted the first crate, an arm emerged. It was immediately clear that a tragedy had taken place. Thanks to CCTV footage, the Italian police were able to reconstruct the final moments of the 46-year-old's life. Mike Hughes.
They call him John Doe because they don't know who his name is or what his name is or who he was. They never figured out who he was? That's messed up.
On February 22nd, 2020, 64-year-old amateur rocket builder, Mad Mike Hughes, with the help of his partner Waldo Stakes, decided to reach an altitude of
Where's
5,000 feet
Dead.
while riding his homemade steam-powered rocket. Hughes was well known for his belief.
Did he just say they were using their homemade steam-powered rocket? Why the hell? How much free time do y'all have? Like, don't you guys have jobs? And when you come home from your job, like, don't you hang out with your family or like do like what other people do, like watch TV or maybe go to the gym? You're building a damn rocket ship?
That the Earth was flat. He hoped to prove his theory by going to space. The test was a stepping stone toward getting as close to space as possible. Mike propelled himself into the air and then crashed into the ground. The parachute, designed for landing, deployed too early and detached from the craft seconds after takeoff. Mike did not survive and was pronounced dead on impact.
This dude built a damn rocket ship. Yeah, that's the dumbest death of all time, bro.